Hi, this is Grace Power, and I've been thinking about a book that I read. It's called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and I read it over a year ago now, probably a year and a half ago. And it's still something I think about quite often, especially when I first read it. I started implementing a lot of the tips that he gives just right away. And now, it's not like forefront of my mind, so I'm not, doing the slight edge as much consciously. But when I do think about it, it does make a difference. And so I wanted to share this book because I think it's an important one for really anyone to read. I would say especially people who do have a goal or some sort of big project that they're working towards, or even like he gives examples in this book about people wanting to wean off drug addictions or clean out a bunch, like they clear out a bunch of stuff in their basement that's just like piled up, and it just seems like so overwhelming to go through all the stuff. But when you apply the slight edge, it just really simplifies things and makes it doable. And so it's like the idea of taking, eating a whole cake, but just doing it one bite at a time and over a period of time. So, at the end of it, you'll have eaten the cake, but you don't just eat it all in one day. And so it really can be applied in so many different ways. And I just find that when I do think about the slight edge and go, okay, I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes, or I'm just going to pick up this one item and put it in the laundry, or just little things. It just helps my brain and helps my stress level just to take a big thing and break it down into a small thing. And the book's actually really easy to read because he does use a lot of examples. So pretty much any person will get something out of it because he has so many different examples in there. He does use some of his own stories, but most of it is like stories from other people. And one example I really like, there's a little part of the book that his ex-wife wrote, and she was talking about how she raised her daughter and how that it was important to her that she spent time with the daughter, reading books and doing activities with her. But instead of it being like this big project or whatever, it was just more of like making sure to do that every single day. Because in the big picture, that all that time really adds up. You just think of like every book that a parent reads to a child, or every time they help their child, do a positive habit, like maybe brushing their teeth at night, or eating vegetables, or picking up their toys, or making their bed, or just those little simple things. But applying it on a daily basis and over a course of a long time just creates these positive habits and positive outcomes. And you look at the big picture and you can see the full result of that. But in the moment, it's just focusing on that one little thing that you can do that day, and not getting overwhelmed by how are you going to turn out your kid to be this amazing kid that of course you want him to be. But instead of getting overwhelmed by like projecting this big task of like creating this positive adult in the future, okay, like what can I do today to help my child just be the best they can be? Just creating those little habits. So especially as a parent, I really apply this, and I like this idea because it does just take the stress away and just has me focus on the one thing I can do right now. And then I feel good about it and I'm in action, and it just makes me feel like, okay, well, I'm one step closer to my end goal. One thing that when I read the book, I remember wanting to start doing yoga on a regular basis. And so I found that when I would put things in the microwave, and sometimes it's 30 seconds, sometimes it's 2 minutes, but instead of just standing there, waiting for this thing to warm up in the microwave, I use that time to, get on the floor and do downward dog, or do the plank, or, do some sort of yoga. I mean, I guess if I was tired that day, maybe child's pose, just something, just to get in that action. And then I would feel so good afterwards, like, oh, wow, that was such a great use of my 30 seconds or my 1 minute. And I feel so much better. Like I got a little piece of yoga in today. And, maybe I didn't go to a class and it wasn't a whole hour long or hour and a half out of my day, but I did that 30 seconds. And if I did that every day and throughout throughout my life, it all adds up. And I'm just gaining strength and gaining, clarity or focus, or those other positive outcomes that come out of doing some of those poses, just by using the time that I had and using it a little bit more strategically. So just as a thought, I mean, that's what I liked about the Slight Edge, is that it's those little things that you do every single day or every single week or every month, depending on what the task is or what you're doing. But over the course of years and years, or your lifetime, you can really step back and see the impact of it. And of course, the negative part is when you don't do those things, it's kind of like a spiral down. So you can keep taking those little positive increment steps upward, or in a positive direction, and then over time it's just going to be like an exponential curve. Like it's just going to have massive, amazing results. That one phone call you make, and then, you make the next phone call, then make the next phone call, instead of putting it off, and then either never doing it or spending one day doing it, or, something like that, where you kind of just, either you put it off and you never do it, or you just put it off so long that when you go to do it, it's just so stressful and you don't really have the joy and the energy to accomplish such a big task. So anyways, just wanted to share this book with you. I'm going to actually share my screen. So share my screen. This is the book, and I had the hard copy, so that's what it looks like. But you can get the Kindle version, which is awesome. And let's just kind of see what people are saying too. I always like reading the reviews. There's 1,234 customer reviews. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like that. And this is Jeff Olson right here. And look at all these. 88% 5-star. Of course, they put a negative one right at the top. Too repetitive and long-winded. So maybe that's what they found, that it was too repetitive and long-winded. But, here we got best nonfiction book I've ever read, monumental transformation, helps you discover how to make your dreams come true and stop letting life pass by without any chance of being successful, gives you a valuable philosophy for life. So those are just, some of the headlines of these reviews. You could go on and read them if you're interested. Or if you've read this book, go on and write a positive review, or just your review, your honest review. And it's just it's really a great book. Now, Jeff Olson, I didn't know this about him when I read the book. This says massive success and happiness. Let's see, turning simple disciplines into massive success and happiness. So he is kind of known for his focus on happiness, and he does a lot to promote happiness in the world and in people's emotional states or in their lives, and bring a focus to it, like even in workplaces and career environments, so that if people are happy, they're going to be more productive. If people are happy, they are going to get along better. If people are happy, they're going to be, usually healthier. There's just so many benefits to being happy. And so, but anyways, definitely a great book. It's a easy read, and it will have an effect on you. In fact, I was visiting a friend, and she was up in the mornings, running down to they lived in a condo unit, and down in their building, they had a workout room. So she was up in the mornings and just gotten her workout clothes and was running down there for 20 minutes, did a little workout, and came up, and she, was all sweaty and stuff, but that was like her start for the day. And I was just really admiring that, like, wow, she's just, gets up and gets her workout in right away, and she's so disciplined. She's doing it every morning. And I noticed she had the Slight Edge, in her living room when I was looking at her books, and I'm like, oh, you got the Slight Edge. And she's like, yeah, that totally got me going on my workout routine. Just getting up, I'm like, just 20 minutes a day, and I start my day with that. And the Slight Edge really had an influence on her sticking with the routine and doing that little bit every day, instead of, feeling like, you have to go do an hour at the gym or something. And so for her, that worked really well. And so just another positive example of the book, and just the positive influence that this book has had, I'm sure, on, at this point, millions and millions of people. So hopefully you will become one of them if you haven't read the book. And definitely leave your comments below. Let me know if you've read the book, what you liked about it or didn't like about it. If you haven't read the book, read it and come back and write a little comment and let me know that I inspired you to read this book. So hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next video.